What's up, nerds? Nerds, Goz Master here with another Raw Dog Goz vid for you, spotlighting the rares inside of the newest set, Wilds of Eldraine. So I'm excited to go through this with you guys. Let's get right into it. Again, no fanfare, no editing, just getting this out so you guys can get it right away. So we're going to go into Heartflame, let's push myself here, Heartflame Duelist, 9 mana, Adventure 3/1 red-white human knight. When a spell you control deals damage to an opposing target, you gain that much life. Now, this in and of itself is not necessarily a chase card so much as when there is creatures that in cards that have synergy for life gain, this might be something that's actually pretty powerful with it. This actually would have been good, and maybe that's why they changed Vitality, the Curse of Vitality card, because this with that would have been pretty bonkers. You could have created some loops, I'm assuming, and that was what they were preemptively avoiding. I should probably read the cards before I start making some criticisms, yeah? Its flip side is deal 4 damage to any opposing target, so we shall see about that. This is actually a chase card. Bramble, familiar, 10 mana, Adventure 2/2, green raccoon elemental. When you match green gems, convert X gems to green. So that doesn't say by swap, that just means match. So if we have green conversion cascading, you're going to get more green conversion happening in that. X is equal to 1 plus this creature's reinforcements. So that's 2 per turn per conversion, unless I really dupe this a bunch. When you exile a card from your hand, if it had 6 or more mana, you may return this creature to your hand. I don't know why you would want to do that unless it's only like an enters battlefield kind of effect. Fetch quest is its flip side. Destroy the top 10 cards of your library, then pick one of the first 4 creature or enchant. Then pick one of the first 4 creatures. A creature, enchantment, or land cards with the greatest mana cost from your graveyard. Move that card to play under your control. What? Destroy the top 10 cards of your library, then pick one of the first 4 creature, enchantment, or land cards with the greatest mana cost. So whatever has the most expense, that's what's going to wind up hitting this board. Pretty incredible. Wow, yeah, absolutely a chase card. That is ridiculous all in of itself, but the other side is insane too between the green conversion. This is absolutely a chase card, really incredible. Scalding Viper, 8 mana, adventure, blue-red, 2/1 elemental snake. Ooh, that works with serpentines, right? When an opponent casts a card that costs 11 or less, deal X damage to your opponent's planeswalker. X is equal to 3 plus this creature's reinforcements. That in of itself could be problematic for stopping your opponent, but it's the flip side that matters. Return target creature to its owner's hand. In blue, we have some bounce removal now, so it's functional not just on this side, but it actually can do some damage here as well. So if you're doing the thing and you have an adventure deck, this might actually be a key removal card that you'll need to get. So you definitely want to try to hunt this down because it's not making sure there's room in hand for that bounce. So this is going to be pretty good. Phyrexian Vindicator, blue needs, mono blue especially, needs some removal that's effective against that, and there you go. Cruel Summoning Sapophage? Cruel Summonage, 7 mana, 1/1, blue-black nightmare. At the beginning of your turn, this creature gets +X/+X until the beginning of your next turn. X is the number of creature cards in all graveyards. Not overly impressive in and of itself. However, with all of the graveyard shenanigans that are in play, there's a lot of ways to feed the yard. This should get pretty big pretty quickly. But let's look at the flip side. The adventure side is destroy the top 4 cards of target player's library. Mill 16. So if you have 16 cards in their library instead, or in their graveyard rather, destroy the top 4 creature cards of that player's library. And now we're starting to make the front side buffier and buffier. Very good synergy between the front and back side. Get it from the front and from the back. This is pretty good. I like that. Questing Druid, 6 mana, adventure, 1/1, red-green, human druid. Whenever you cast a white, blue, black, or red card, so anything but green, this creature gets +1/+1. This creature gets +1/+1 for each of its reinforcements. At 6 casting costs, that's pretty ridiculous. I normally am not a big fan of these types of, conditional buff creatures. This one could get pretty ridiculous pretty quickly. So whenever you cast those creatures, this card gets +1/+1 for those. Any card, really, any card. So if you have a loop deck, this should churn out fairly quickly, right? All right. Seek the Beast. Discard the last card from your hand, then draw 2 cards. The last 2 cards in your hand gain 4 mana. Not bad, good, churn. It allows you in green or red to be able to go through your deck and dig for what you're looking for. And that front side is actually going to be good because of the stuff you have in the yard. Pollen Shield Hair, 7 mana, adventure, 2/2, white-green, rabbit. At the beginning of your turn, token creatures you control get +1/+1 until the beginning of your next turn. Okay? Ovika, any kind of creature tokens. This is going to be great in Nissa on its own. But furthermore, token creatures you control get +1/+1 for each of their reinforcements until the beginning of your next turn. This is just at the beginning of your turn. This happens every single turn, ends every turn, but it gives you a chance to buff up your creatures and get them going. Really solid card at 2/2. But the other side is Raising Hair, or Hair Raising. Target creature you control gets +X/X till end of turn. X is the number of creatures you control, including the reinforcements. So in and of itself, a 2/2 is not very buffed with his abilities. But if you adventure, have him on board, adventure, make him stronger, then all your other creatures just get bigger because of the token generation. But in addition to that, your Pollen Shield Hair gets bigger along with it. I really like that card. It's a solid, good card. Chancellor of Tales, 15 mana, flying, blue, 2/3, Fairy Advisor. When you cast a spell card with Adventure, the first other spell card or card with Adventure in your hand gains 12 mana. If you can't, fetch the first card with Adventure from your library. So if this is your last card, it acts as card draw. Well, if this card's on board and you cast a spell that doesn't draw, you do something. This is really neat because any card that you cast that gives you, like, let's say, Alchemist Gambit. I cast that. Well, cool, I got an extra spot, but I got no cards in hand. Well, with this guy on board, I am actually drawing my next adventure card, and that essentially is 2 spells. I have my adventure side and then my creature side. So I get to do multiple things with it. It's going to smooth out a lot of decks. And let's not ignore the most important part here. Just get a looping spell deck. The first other spell card in your hand with Adventure, or the first other spell card or card with Adventure in your hand gains 12 mana. Powerful. I dig it. I'm rereading it. There's going to be some limitations because it's got to be Adventure in the first place, but man, I dig it. I think that's a good, solid card. 9, haste, 1/1, Human Rogue. When this creature enters the battlefield, discard a card, then draw a card, create a gold token, create a gold token, okay? In and of itself, this card is not very impressive. It's actually fairly weak, but why did I include it in one you probably want to chase? Target creature you control gains Wicked Roll. I have not seen a lot of cards that give creatures Wicked Roll. Wicked Roll will be busted. This is going to be a card you're going to need in order to get that busted going. So definitely don't fret if you pull this. Farsight Ritual, 14 mana, bargain, spell card, blue. Pick up to 2 of the first 4 cards from your library. Fetch those cards. You gain 6 mana. Yes, please. That's just 6 mana, not to those cards. That's to your opening hand. So for loop cards, this is going to be good. You have to click, but yeah, it's good. But if you do the bargain, if it's not a copy, create a copy of this card in your hand. It gains full mana. You get to do it again. So you're getting 12 mana. You're getting up to, like if your hand's full, right, or you can only draw 1 card, just pick 1, right? And you're getting up to 4 cards drawn. You're getting 12 mana, along with the other one that does 12 mana. You've got some shenanigans that can happen. I think this is a good card. Feral Encounter, 10 mana, green spell card. Pick one of the first 4 creature cards from your library. Fetch that card, deal X damage to the first opposing creature. X is the greatest power among creature cards in your hand. This is an interesting one. I included it here because it's in your hand. I don't have to have the creature on board. That's one of the biggest challenges in any kind of creature build focus deck, is especially if you have big creatures and you're having a tough time getting them on board. How do I deal with presences on the board? And I can do this to fetch that card, deal X damage to the first opposing creature. So it's non-targeted greed and damage, right? So if they have ward but not prevent damage, this can be effective and especially beneficial. It'd be nice if it had flash. If it had flash, it'd be chef's sweet. I think it would be great against any of those hasty last-second creatures that are coming your way. Food Fight. 7 mana, red enchantment. When you match an artifact support gem, deal X damage to the first opposing creature. If you can't, deal X damage to your opponent's planeswalker. X is the support's shield. This is beautiful. I love this. This is going to be something that's a staple probably in Koth or spell decks, non-creature decks, because it allows you another win con to deal damage. And again, note, Webcore, well done. I love that you are automatically choosing who it's going to go to. First creature, so that, the stack whittles down to the first position. You're getting that creature, and then you're going face after that automatically. I don't have to touch any buttons. I don't have to do anything. All this is doing is actually just targeting those. It will suck if you have a creature that's prevent damage in first position, but you should be building in something that takes away prevent damage, so it's not a bother. Anyways, great job. Imodane the Pyro Hammer. That's a cool name. 12, 4/4, red, human knight creature. When a spell card you control deals damage to a creature, deal that damage to your opponent's planeswalker. Yeah, that's good. That's going to go into some nice little synergy combo decks. I think that's great. Can't wait to use that in some of my decks. Lich Knight's Conquest, 10 mana, bargain, spell card. Destroy the top 4 cards of your library. Bargain. Return the first creature with the greatest mana value up to 14 from your graveyard to the battlefield under your control. Reinforce that creature X times. What? X is the number of support and token cards you control, including the reinforcements. Then destroy all supports and token cards you control. That last line is interesting. We'll have to see how that plays. But if we have tokens or supports that are benefit you by when they're destroyed, load up the board, overwhelm them. Gold tokens is a good example of that. You know, this with Old Gnawbone, are you kidding me? In some kind of fashion, this is going to be broken. This is an absolutely great card. One of my chase cards that I'm looking forward to playing with. And looking for, there are some gold token creation shenanigans that I'm going to be playing with. I think this is going to be a fantastic card to go into that. Lord Skitta, Sewer King, 9 mana, 3/3 black, creature, rat noble. When another rat card enters play under your control, not this one, but another one, exile the first card from your opponent's graveyard. Not that big a deal. But at the beginning of the combat on your turn, create a rat swarm token, which is a 1/1. Now, why I'm throwing this in here is for 2 reasons. Number 1, rat, because of the hellhole rat that we saw beforehand in the mythics and masterpieces. That's going to be a fabulous combination with this. But really to point out Rat Swarm. Rat Swarm is not going to be like a token 1/1 creature that you're going to be able to attack with. I think Rat Swarms are going to be supports. And I'll have another card here later on that's going to point out at that. Because, and another thing, Lord Skitter's Blessing, 13 mana, spell card enchantment. When this support enters the board, target creature you control gains Wicked Roll. Wicked Roll. At the beginning of your turn, if you control an enchanted creature or a creature with a roll, draw a card. It gains X mana. X is the number of rat cards you control. You lose 3 life. Now, that would be 3 mana that you're gaining. If it were including reinforcements, that would be great. Now, it says rat cards. So, the rat swarms, this token here, if those don't reinforce, and we just create, which I'm assuming they don't. I'm assuming rat swarm tokens don't reinforce. If they don't reinforce, good Allah, this is going to be a powerful card. If they do reinforce, then this is going to be interesting in that it's not going to do as much, and this might not be that big of a deal. But why is this still a chase card regardless of all of that? Wicked Roll. Wicked Roll is going to be bonkers, guys. And yeah, there you go. Otherwise, create a rat swarm token. So you're doing something. I dig that card. Regal Bunnicorn, 4 mana for a 1/1 rabbit unicorn. Again, at the beginning of your turn, if its power and toughness become X. X is equal to the number of creatures you control, including their reinforcements. So in and of itself, it's not super big, super powerful, and there's a lot of other creatures that are probably going to be more powerful. If this was a rotation year, if there were creatures that were leaving standard, this card would be powerful. I don't think it'll see play. I just think it's a very interesting card that could have some upside potential. But it's more of a win more card, so maybe it doesn't need to be on this list. So there you go. Rotisserie Elemental, 6 mana. You get this one from Costco. Menace, 1/1 red elemental creature. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if this creature has imminent death, discard the last card from your hand. Okay? When this creature deals combat damage to your opponent's planeswalker, reinforce it. Okay? Self-reinforcing. It has to attack, though. Doesn't have haste. Activate 3 red. Well, you're not going to activate it until the next turn anyway. So you may have this creature gain imminent death. Okay. When this creature dies or loses a reinforcement, draw a card. It gains mana equal to the number of this creature's reinforcements. So you lose a reinforcement with imminent death. You draw a card. If you can buff this somehow, reinforcement-wise, you can just keep pounding out, getting this thing on the board leveled up. It could be something solid for you. I don't know how we loop this yet, but it could be functional in some way. I think it's very interesting. This one, on the other hand, Splashy Spellcaster, is a chase card. 11 mana, 2/4, blue, elemental wizard creature. When you cast a spell card, period, target creature you control gains sorcerer roll. Ooh, right? Fetch the first non-creature card from your library, then convert 2 gems to blue. What? So if I'm running a spell deck, that's predominantly all I'm running, when you cast a spell card, target creature you control gains sorcerer roll. Now, the only hiccup here is this, and that's period hard stop. Is the second part contingent on sorcerer roll being given to a creature? Because if that creature already has it, can you give it to it again, right? If you can't, then does it just nullify all of that first portion? Fetch the first non-creature card. When you cast the spell card, then jump just to the second one, fetch the first non-creature card from your library, convert 2 gems to blue. I'm thinking it happens regardless. The way it's worded here would imply that it doesn't matter if you give a creature a sorcerer roll, that it would automatically happen for the second portion too. However, we've seen gankier stuff happen between Octagon and now Webcore. Here's your chance to say, hey, it's working as written. We will see. Tenacious Tombseeker, another incredible power chase card. 11 mana, bargain, 3/2 blue, human knight. Bargain, pick one. Pick one of the first 4 spell cards from your graveyard. Move that card to your hand. It gains 9 mana, right? So, when this creature attacks, destroy the top 2 cards of your library. This is an enters battlefield effect. This should synergize nicely with Rocco because it costs 11. We get him on the board. We used, let's say we used Blade Quell, and we didn't get enough mana for all the things it brought into hand. However, we get Tenacious Tomb Seeker. We had 1 Cut Your Losses in the graveyard. He brings that Cut Your Losses to your hand. We're able to cast that. That gets the blue churning in our hand. It may be a workaround for what we were losing before. We have to add this into the fray instead of Kiora to keep the loop going with Cut Your Losses and Blade Quell. We shall see. I'm not 100% yet. This is the end, my friend, the end. 13 mana, flash, black, 4 shield enchantment. The support can't be reinforced. Okay. If this card is in your hand, if you have 15 or less life, reduce this card's cost by 6 until the beginning of your next turn. Irrelevant, not necessarily. If you're at 15 life, you're done. The game's over already. This is what's important. At the beginning of your turn, exile target opposing creature. Hard stop. Nice. Then, exile all cards in your opponent's hand with equal mana cost. I don't like your Phyrexian Vindicator, and I want to make sure you don't have one in hand. Get rid of them all. What? Base power and toughness as the last card cost. Okay, so equal mana cost, base power, and toughness as the last card in your opponent's exile. Oh, it's in your last exile. No, that's true. So we exile target opposing creature, and if you have any of those creatures in hand, they're gone. Including anything else that might cost that exact same amount. Yes, please. This is a devastatingly brutal... Oh, I'm going to hate this card. Oh, I'm going to hate this card. It's only creatures, but that's still good. Yeah, this is essentially... what's the name of the card? I hate Kami War. This is a permanent Kami War. Oh, my goodness. Oh, I hate this card. I haven't even faced it yet. Oh, I hate this card. Oh, I'm going to have to put it in every black deck I run. Guys, this is going to be brutal. We're going to hate life after that card comes out. This is on the level of Lich's Mastery. Or, yeah, Lich's, the one that was prevent damage, you can't die. Ugh, that's gross. Thunderous Debut. 16 mana, bargain. I'm still reeling from that last one. Spell card. Pick one of the first 4 creature cards from your library. Move that card into play under your control. Sure, I'll take a Troxa Grand Unifier for 16 mana. Sure, bargain. Let me destroy one of my my gold tokens on board. Pick one of the first 4 creature cards from your library. Move that card into play under your control. So let me go get 2 Atraxas. I draw 3 cards, or if those cards already had a little bit of mana, I'm getting those to cast for full. Yeah, I think I like that. I think I like that a lot. This is a stupid, powerful chase card. If you get this, auto include in any green deck you have, because it is brokenly good. Yeah, is that it? That is it. Bro, between these last 2, this is the end and Thunderous Debut. Wow, these are some powerful, ridiculously good, rare cards. I haven't even gotten to the comments and uncommons yet. I'm going to go through those, and I will put together another video for that. But however, my friends, what do you think of these so far? As always, no editing and no fixing a lot of the stuff, because these are raw dog videos, but we're just getting them out. To my next quest, my friends, like, subscribe. We're on a quest to 1,000 subs. We're almost there. We're at like 888. So we're missing 112 more subscriptions. If you have people that you know that aren't subscribed, get them to subscribe. And it's much appreciated. And as always, join the party, man. Get into the Discord. We have lots of great conversations about how we're going to be breaking these cards, deck builds, and all kinds of different things. We have some of the best players in the game that are in there. I appreciate you guys as always. Till the next quest, swords up.